Welcome back to Money Mind and thank you for staying with us. You might know the face of Propnex, its CEO, Ismail Gafoor. He regularly appears in the media to give his analysis on developments in the property market. But what you might not know is that Ismail came from humble beginnings and that it helped to shape him into the man he is today. We follow Ismail on his journey to success to find out the turning points that changed his life.
My dad started his small kiosk shop. Usually you will see in those days in the 60s, end of a block, just some attached cabinets, and he sell items and so on. And as he grew and he got his footing, he decided to embark on a newspaper business.
Just turning into Lengkok Baru from Hoi Fun, where actually most of my childhood I grew at this particular area.
Ismail and his four brothers grew up in a one-room rental flat at Block 56, Lengkok Baru.
This is the place. In fact, I'm right standing in front of my daddy's shop, previously known as Hajmir Minimart. It's still existing, surprising. A lot of memories. Every day at 4 a.m. we are just at this place, inserting the newspapers, the classified. And I'm quite fortunate because my siblings have to go far away to the other blocks, but I delivered the newspaper to Block 56 and as well as Block 57. And not only that, I got few more blocks, but it was closer to the shop.
Besides delivering newspapers, Ismail and his siblings also helped at their father's provision shop.
I do the evening shift, then I will be probably about 6 to 9:30, come back and sleep by 10:30, and the next day start at 4.
At a young age, Ismail knew he didn't want to follow in his father's footsteps.
Having to wake up at 4 a.m. to deliver newspapers and earning 20%, which is 4 cents. They open at 6:30 and close at 10 p.m. And that I thought his life is like throughout working. And I don't see meaning in learning the trade or to continue to do these things.
Then, when Ismail was 14 years old, came the first real test of his persuasion skills. His father had issued an ultimatum that between him and his elder brother, only one could continue schooling. The other would have to look after the cashier's counter. Ismail knew he had to persuade his brother to let him be the one to continue studying. He understood that education would lead to a better life.
And I spoke to my brother, hey, you are elder than me by 1 year, and in all fairness, you should give me the opportunity. And I started to put all my negotiation skills that I deserve to continue to go to school. And I really feel sad for my brother, because at the end of the day, he gave in.
At 18 years old, Ismail very much wanted to go to university. Unfortunately, he didn't do well for his second language in O-levels. Then Ismail enlisted for national service.
I was really happy when I was in the army. Army was so much more comfortable because we have our own beds, and beyond that, we don't need to wake up at 4 o'clock. The morning wake-up call is 5:30. We had good food, physically demanding, but I'm physically fit. In fact, I remembered very clearly. I was always smiling.
As a top recruit, Ismail was selected to join the Officer Cadet School despite only having an O-level cert. He rose up the ranks. During this time, he discovered the money-making potential of the property market.
I used to take a bus together with my army buddy, and once he told me his uncle sold a property along the Cavenagh Road and he made a profit of about $250,000. To me, it sounded insane. In fact, it sounded sinful. And I said, how can we be working so hard, delivering newspapers, earning 4 cents, and I do not know how many million papers we need to sell to earn $250,000 as a capital gain that his uncle owned? But as every other week when the bus passed the same road, I became more and determined that when I grow up, I want to own 4 properties. Because it was so much easier to calculate 250,000 times 4, I will be a millionaire. So that's something that was planted in me. But if you really want to be successful, maybe owning a property is the best way to do it.
Ismail signed on as a regular with the army in 1983, but he harbored a keen desire to understand the property market. His then girlfriend, now wife, was also a regular in the army. And their dates were to go to show flats at property launches or attend overseas property seminars at hotels. The couple then got married, and their first home was an HDB flat. Soon he was looking to buy his second home.
Normanton Park was a privilege only for SAF officers. We go and saw a few houses and we fall in love with one particular house so much that we negotiated and we couldn't even sleep the night because we really wanted to buy the house. Eventually, we managed to negotiate at a good price, and in fact, I must thank the owner, the wife, who said, give it to this young couple. We bought it at $90,000. Actually, they wanted $100,000. It's not that we don't want to pay the $100,000, we just can't get the loan. Yeah. And it is none other than Mr. Lim Swee Sei's house.
Then came a hitch. To buy a Normanton Park apartment, an SAF officer had to have a balance of 5 years left of service. Ismail only had 3. He went up to his commander to negotiate a contract extension.
He just said that, okay, I will approve your contract with a condition that you must get your A levels by the end of the contract. And I was happy about it, and I extended my contract to attain the 5 years, and that's where we bought our first private property.
After 8 years in the army, at 32 years old, Ismail left the army, giving up a $1 million pension. He left with no preparations for a second career. 3 days later, he landed in hospital.
I was in hospital for 2 days, and eventually it was clear that I'm perfectly normal. It's just that maybe I'm stressed. And that's where myself and my wife took a short break to KL, went to Genting Highland, relaxed ourselves, and asked, what do I really want? And what am I going to do? And that's where we decided the real estate should be the right career, as I'm so passionate about it. And we grew our business and started our own company in 6 months after I left. 1st January 1996, and the company was named Norris Consultants.
As for his journey to success, Ismail says it's all about people.
When I just take a reflection, a lot of joyous moment, seeing the growth of my people.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. We continue with our ongoing series, Journey to Success. And in part 2 of our story on Ismail Gafoor, he lets us in on the external obstacles and the internal challenges that he's had to face to get where he is today.
After 13 years in the army, Ismail Gafoor left to start his own real estate business, Norris Consultants, with his wife.
We were quite novice as far as being in business is concerned. All the leadership and all the training the army didn't really prepare me to springboard to start my entrepreneurial journey. Our first office was at Apollo Center. When we started the office, no other salespersons wanted to join us. And HDB was situated at Bukit Merah. Parking was expensive, and there's no reason why people want to come to Central Business District. And we realized our mistake.
This was after spending $20,000 on renovations. They found another tenant to take over their lease after 6 months and moved to Bukit Merah.
Bukit Merah is so close from my childhood, and the fact that I started my business
to really grow from a 2-man to a 250 strong all took place within this place. It will be interesting to maybe go up and take a look at my actual office premises.
The couple's second office cost an additional $80,000. That was half their savings.
On a hindsight, it is all worth it because really the company's DNA in terms of putting things right all took place here.
Ismail and his wife soon noticed an unmet demand in the industry. HDB had introduced a listed housing agency scheme. To be on the preferred panel where clients would get faster completion of transactions, property agents had to pass the common examination for housing agents, known as CHA, and many weren't able to.
We started conducting classes, and I remembered I conducted paper 1 and paper 2, which is about 24 classes single-handedly, even the law paper, because I felt that I knew enough and I helped so many people to pass their exam, and that's how naturally people got notice that this couple are able to add value and help people.
Within 2 years, Nouris grew from a 2-man operation to 250 and became the largest Malay Muslim real estate company with revenues of $10 million. But Ismail knew they had to expand beyond this niche market.
The Malay market is only that small, and our clientele base mainly dwell in a public housing. We wanted our salespeople to learn the skills of the private property.
Then Ismail had a chance encounter with the founders of PruLink. It led to a partnership.
I thought it may be a good mix for the two companies to come, and therefore we can enjoy huge amount of economies of scale.
And so began a series of partnerships. Ismail was now keen on establishing the largest real estate agency in Singapore. And for him, it was all about achieving economies of scale. PropNex was launched on the 15th of July, 2000. It had the largest network of real estate agents, but Ismail soon learned that partnerships are never solely about economies of scale.
We came together only hinged on one idea, that was economies of scale. I did not have the time, nor did we spend enough time to understand the alignment of values among the 5 partners.
Within 6 months, there were cracks in the partnership.
The market was not doing well. We already undertook a huge office, 10,000 square foot at Novena Square. Prior to that, we were all in smaller offices. So that's a huge commitment.
2 years into the partnership, the biggest firm in the group decided not to renew its franchise agreement with PropNext.
I received a call from the press saying that one of my partners have released the information that they are severing ties, and am I going to send our own press release? But I must admit, this is the first time I'm hearing. I was shocked, but I also will accept responsibility because it was written on the wall that things were not working and things like really crumbling under my feet, and I started to question my ability, my leadership.
But Ismail now understood what PropNext needed to be, one merged entity with the same business principles.
To me, I was very clear. It is no more about individual brand. It is about the bigger company, PropNext. But beyond letting go the brand, here is this. In a merger, we need to have shares. And when we talk about shares, it cannot be equal shares. The 4 companies have different market share, different profit. So when I went to the boardroom and mooted this idea, a lot of emotions fly. Some of them were slamming the table and walked out on me at the boardroom.
After the heated discussion, Ismail gave his partners 3 months to think about the merger.
And 3 months came about, and we started the meeting on a Saturday, 9 a.m. at our Novena office. And it went on and went on and went on with different lawyers representing the different companies. And we inked the deal 4:30 a.m. on Sunday. And eventually, we merged the 4 companies. And that was the merger announcement we did in year 2004.
Propnex has grown substantially over the past 15 years. It now has over 7,500 agents with overseas offices in Vietnam, Malaysia and Indonesia. Today, Propnex annual conventions are of a much bigger scale. And the company continues to recognize its top sales agents. Ismail believes strongly in it.
From day one when we started our real estate company, we introduced, other than training, recognition system, and conventions.
Last year, Propnex made its debut on SGX's main board as the largest listed real estate agency. Its market cap is now over $225 million.
I carry a very simple philosophy. The day when the company failed to add value to its people is the day the people should live elsewhere. Therefore, every singular day is our responsibility to add value. It's a big day.
As for his journey to success, Ismail says it's all about people.
When I just take a reflection, a lot of joyous moment, seeing the growth of my people. Just to give an example, my current COO joined me 15 years ago as a management trainee from NUS, earning a mere salary of $1,600. Today is the COO of a main board listed company. All my people grew together with us, strongly guided by the passion and the core values. And that's something I really feel so happy about.